And welcome to this edition of Motorcycle Madhouse and the Biker Angle. We're doing a combined live show again for everybody. And the reason being is we got a very important subject that we want to talk about and get out there. We want to spread the word. It's one that needs to get spread. And Black Dragon over at Black Dragon TV is also doing a video on this subject. As many of you know, the Mongols patch case is now active and they are picking juries and it is going forward. And there's been some scary stuff that has came out in the news regarding what the prosecutor's intentions are. And it is time, if you like the Mongols or not, if you're in the club scene or even in a hog chapter, you might want to get the word out and get involved in this case. This is dangerous to say the least. This is our government trying to pass the Vlad laws that Oz has, or Australia. And this is the first step. And they lose this case, the Mongols. Every club out there better be worried, and that's why you need to get involved. Now, I'm going to go off of this article real quick and talk about what's being said in the media right now, and you're going to shake your head just as much as me. And for those who are out there that says, screw one percenters, they're gang, they're drug dealers, blah, 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 well, your hog chapters, A-Bay chapters, all that, riding clubs are now in jeopardy if they lose this case. Because as you will find out in this article, if they go after you and label you as a so-called criminal organization, they can take your patch right off your back if the cop sees you if they win this shit. And we already know down in Texas it is ground zero with what they are doing down there to clubbers already. So let's go to this article real quick. The feds have called the Mongol Nation, quote, the most violent and dangerous, end quote, biker gang in the country. And they're trying an unusual tactic to dismantle them. You see what that just said, right? An unusual tactic to dismantle them. Stripping them of the trademark patches that are prized by members and feared by rivals. This goes, and like I said at the beginning, it don't matter if you like the Mongols or not. Other clubs, you got your trademarks out there. It only takes, well, we're going to debate that subject. What's it take? 2, 3, 4, 15, 17, 60 out of how many members to be considered a criminal organization? That is dangerous when the government can decide something like that. Now, a racketeering trial is set to begin in Santa Ana, California later this week. Jury selection begins on Wednesday, which it started today, actually, in which prosecutors accuse Mongol Nation of operating as an organized criminal enterprise involved in murder, attempted murder, assault, drug dealing, and more. Well, half-done crimes, again, I can, run through the Google shirts world right now and find out the Blue Gang did his shit too. But hey, that's not how the shit works in this country. The almighty government gets to come down on us lowly people and decide for us what they consider a criminal enterprise, even though their people are involved in the same shit. And prosecutors want to force the organization to forfeit, quote, any and all marks that include the organization's logo, the word Mongols, and a drawing of Genghis Khan-style rider on a motorcycle. That caricature is serious business for the Mongols, court papers say. Higher-ups in the estimated 600-person gang, they put them at 600, will frequently bear patches that indicate that they are officer in the enterprise. And they earn those patches through violence and mayhem, prosecutors say. Quote, the Mongols gang is a violent drug trafficking organization that advocates and rewards its members and associates for committing violent crimes, including and specifically assaults and murders. on behalf of the gang and in order to promote what the gang terms respect, prosecutors wrote in one court filing. Now, take out the Mongols stuff that they put in this article, and shit, I can see this as a fucking blue organization, man. Everything in here. You know, they get rewards. Half the time, these cops, some of the ones in Pittsburgh, were awarded citations. What, for being fucking abusers of the public? Come on. In another filing, they said the club's mother chapter may award a specific Mongols member a skull and crossbones or respect few, fear none patch to those members who have committed murder or engaged acts of violence on behalf of the Mongols. The U.S. Attorney's Office for California's Central District has been trying to go after the patch for decades. The U.S. Attorney Thomas O'Brien first announced the unusual legal bid after 79 members of the gang were indicted in 2008. Now, California is also the first ones that used RICO back in the 70s against Sonny. So, same area all this shit's going on. Remember that, California. Quote, if the court grants our request, and here's where the sad part is, for all those going around and saying, well, I have nothing to do with this, blah, 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 fuck them, fuck this guy, you better worry, because of this quote. Again, if the court grants our request, then if any law enforcement officer sees a Mongol wearing his patch, he will be authorized to stop that gang member and literally take that jacket right off his back, O'Brien said at the time, according to the McClatchy report. So, I guess our Bill of Rights with the right to assemble is just thrown out the door. Well, of course, it's California. You know, they don't like the Constitution much anyway. Problem is, this affects everybody in the United States that wears a patch. Remember, yeah, organizations have people that go out there and do stupid shit. Nobody's saying they don't. But it's not the entire organization as a whole, and you cannot hold them responsible for the actions of a few. That's what they tried to do to that Iron Order in Pennsylvania, and that's what they're trying to do now in California, is trying to hold the club responsible for the actions of just a few of its members. That's their new game. They can't get you on criminal charges. They can't beat you. So what do? They try to skirt around the law. But that bid and later one got shot down in court. A federal appeals court gave prosecutors the green light to try again last year. Funny, I really do see this if they do pull this shit off by any reason, and if the jurors are that fucking stupid, that this is going to head to the Supreme Court. Because not only biker clubs would have to worry about this, shit, Knights of Columbus, Moose Riders, the Moose, the Elks, any of them organizations, any of them could be subject to something like this. Even Hog, again, your Hog members, you know, ran by Harley Davidson, God forbid. Yeah, they should be involved too in this freaking case. They should at least file a brief on behalf of the Mongols in this case. Defense lawyers say the motorcycle group is simply a loose configuration of riders in the Southwest, not an organized criminal enterprise. They also maintain that the government doesn't have the right to seize the patches of members who haven't been involved in criminal activity. Now, down in Texas, you've seen the last video. They're pulling guys over, taking pictures, nothing, you know, you didn't do nothing wrong, but you got a patch on, so I had to take pictures. Or you are going to jail even though you got a Second Amendment right to bear arms, you got the CCW permit, and you have no criminal record, but just because you're wearing a patch, they can say, oh, you're in a gang, going to jail. That's the country we're starting to live in because people won't get involved. Anyway, In court filings, the group's lawyers say that they plan to call former Minnesota Governor Jesse Ventura as an expert witness on the group and its history. Ventura, also a former professional wrestler and actor, was a member of the group in the 1970s. Defense lawyers also want to call journalist Lisa Ling, who interviewed the group for a CNN documentary in 2015, to testify about the organizational structure of the club. The government has objected to both Ventura and Ling being called witnesses, saying neither is an expert. Let me guess, you're going to get that cocksucker Steve Cook down there acting like he's some kind of expert. He worked one case, next thing you know, he's all over the country claiming he's a freaking expert on bikers and clubs, what they do, blah, blah, blah. It's the same shit with these people. Always fucking putting a blanket over everybody. So, that's what NBC's saying, and I'm sure more's going to start coming out in this trial. And I am so surprised. And not only in the biker community, businesses and all that bullshit are not getting involved. Where the hell is the ACLU in this shit? Where are they? Come on, you're supposed to be for liberty. You're supposed to be freedom. Where the fuck are you people? Jesus Christ. Maybe we should call fucking Jesse Jackson's ass and he go get some fucking limelight over in the spotlight, but at least get something done. There should be people all over this shit. This is a Bill of Rights issue. Remember that. Get involved, man. We'll let you know how everything else is going as the case progresses. But remember, BD, Black Dragon, go over to his channel because I'm sure he'll have thoughts on this matter. And YouTube creators, hopefully you get out there and start putting videos out there. I know Insane Throttle is going to be rocking on this freaking from beginning to end. Because if we start giving up our rights because the government says somebody's a criminal organization, yeah, we're going to lose everything. That's just the way it's going to be from now on. So, hopefully you guys get involved. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Really appreciate your thoughts on this matter. Also, at the end of the video, I will be addressing the Kinfolk and what happened with that patch burning incidents and some other shit we learned. But right now, we got the legends in the motorcycle scene. And if you don't know who this is, you're on a different planet, just like I always say. But this guy is actually one that participated in the building of the Easy Rider's bike. And at the time, because he was black, they couldn't give him credit for it. Finally, he's starting to get his due. And you all know who it is. It's Sugar Bear.
But I bought a bike because I was going down the freeway, and a guy passed me on a chop, and the girl was sitting up against the sissy bar reading a paperback. And I looked at her, and she flashed the peace sign to me. This was in the 60s. And I just thought that that was awesome. And I went out a week later and bought a bike, didn't even know how to ride. And within 3 weeks, I started trying to change the bike. A chopper is a bike that you take everything off the bike that doesn't help you go down the road. And it's evolved into an art form, I believe, because everybody has their own vision of what the ultimate chopper should be. One of my extreme bikes, but at the same time you can see that as you go down the road and as you would hit a bump, you can see the springs working, you can see the rockers moving, which means the suspension is working. So no matter what angle that you're at, the suspension is working. And one of the other things that I've been able to do with this is to make it so that it's easier to steer by changing the rockers depending on the length of the bike. So no matter where you put the wheel, it just stays and it doesn't flop. And you'll notice that as you turn the front end, the frame doesn't move. The frame just stays the same. So you're never fighting the weight of the bike, which makes it easier to steer. So if I build a bike that's 8 over or 40 over, it's the same thing. So Basically, I can fulfill whatever fantasy you have about what a long bike should look like and make it easy to ride.
The first time I took it out on the road, it was like I've always driven a long bike. I mean, it was balanced. I wasn't fighting the front end. I could take turns going up Palomar Mountain with one hand.
Something that they really want to do or help someone get where they really want to be. I mean, it's a great feeling. And just about everybody that's ever bought a front end from me is part of a family. And I never forget them, and they don't forget me.
And there you go. Sugar Bear, man. Legend in the long bike. Look at them. Those babies are fucking awesome, aren't they? And it was sad back in the day he didn't get his props for what he built. John Harmon and all them chopper guys, man. Jesus, we'll have John's story also. It was amazing what Sugar Bear does, and he does it. He still builds them himself, and that's what's great about it. So next we're gonna go to Ask Hollywood, and then we'll see if we got any message to the haters, which I don't think we got today. So I'll be able to give my opinion on what happened with that Kinfolk stuff. This is gonna be a take two, because my last video, I hope the sound's better on this video, man, because we finally got all this shit straightened out with our equipment over here. But anyway, let's go to Ask Hollywood, shall we? All right, from, let's see here, Alex. Ask Hollywood, what is the correct protocol when a club tells you to remove your cut? We worked hard for our cuts and treat it with respect to include respect in our brothers. If you refuse, things could become worse. If you comply, you are disrespecting your colors and club. What's the right answer? Well, basically what I can tell you is look in the mirror. You are a man before you are anything. When you put on colors, you are now in what I always say. Everybody hears me say it all the time. You're in a street game, man. And only the strong survive in the game. You're going to either, and you said you respect your colors, so you're going to either respect them by backing them up or you're not. Because those are the only two choices you really have. You're either going to comply, which, you know, on the street makes you look weak. And I'm sure you're not going to want to look at yourself in the mirror after that, you know, giving up your colors. On the other hand, you might be going up against a big dominant, but in the end, if you show some balls, hey, they might back off, or they might keep you in, whatever. So the choice is yours. But again, when you get colors on, it ain't no game anymore. It's about backing them son of a bitches up. So hopefully I gave you somewhat of a good answer. Again, it's all going to be on you what you guys decide to do. You're either going to stand tall or you're going to fall. Let's see here. What do we got here? Would like to get your thoughts on this group I was a part of until I was thrown out for speaking up. I'm sure you know the Facebook group I'm talking about, since you recently did an article on one of the admins being out bad. Thank you for letting people know about that. By the way, my question is, this group is supposed to be a group about education and freedom. Well, they claim to support those principles anyway. The group was told that the herd would be thinned out for questioning, and when I question and why they would be thinning out the herd, I would like to get your view. I guess he was thrown out or something, Tommy. Yeah, I know the group you're talking about. And again, it actually does get tiring hearing about the fuckers. But, if they're supposedly for freedom and all this educational bullshit, well, I guess you're not supposed to speak. Then if, they don't know what, they don't like what you have to say, they're going to kick you out. So is that really about education and freedom if they get butthurt when you challenge what they think? No, they just hit the delete button. And it's a fucking rouse, man. It's a ruse, whatever the fuck you want to call it. If they're supposed to be about education and freedom, then let fucking people speak. You know, we do it all the time on our shit. And yeah, I don't know what to tell you about that. I'd tell you to go find another group because, again, if they got to do that shit, that's weak any goddamn way. Anyway, let's see here. Visit to my local dominant on, let's see here. Hold on a second. I got to get glasses on, guys. It talks about they visited a dominant and asked about them becoming a support club. Well, most of the time with protocol, you see, everybody out there, there's no neutrality. There's freaking none. You can claim there is, but you're either going to be on one side of the fence or another. And if you went through the protocol to ask the dominant for the blessing, what usually happens is you're attached to them. They're there. They're your people because you're going to them for a blessing. So, yeah, you know, and nowadays you ask about if it's good to be a support club. Again, if you're wearing a patch, this ain't no game. It's the big boy leagues, man. And that's why a lot of people get pissed off when they see these other clubs out there on the internet acting a fucking fool because it ain't no game. People get hurt. And yeah, people die, people go to jail. That's just the way it is. That's the way it's always been. You know, if you don't want to be a support club or something like that, go be a riding club or throw a 2-piece on or a 1-piece on. But I'm telling you, being a support club is pretty cool with the dominant, man, because you got all the parties going on. You get to meet a lot of people. And yeah, you're attached to them, but that's just the way this lifestyle is, and you got to get used to that shit. Because if you're going to go ask for a blessing and then you're going to come back, well, we don't want to be a support club, we just want to do it this way. Yeah, that ain't going to work out for you too well. Anyway, I hope that answered some of your questions. And we do not have, oh my God, we don't have any message to the haters. Jesus Christ. Anyway, that is a surprise, let me tell you. Now, as far as my personal opinion, I was asked by many about that, about what happened with the kinfolk. Everybody seen the video with the burning and the women burning it. All I can say is if that was a different time, somebody wouldn't be walking right now. And I have heard she came out and apologized. She was just pissed off and shit like that. But yeah, it wasn't cool in my eyes. I don't care what club it is. Seeing any club's colors get them burnt on the freaking internet makes everybody look fucking stupid. And regards to the information that I've heard, I actually heard about some of it tonight. There might be a new leader in charge of Kinfolk. And from my understanding, if it's the guy I know, and he used to be an ex-bandito, this guy stands by his word. And he has a lot of street cred. He put work in on the streets. So if he's taking the reins over at the Kinfolk, they got a good chance of getting back to their freaking basics, getting back to the beginning, to where they started off at, and trying to build a true MC and not have all this fuckery going on the internet. From what I'm told, they might be taking down some pages that they made, not letting people put stupid shit up and all that stuff, which, hey, that's good for them. You know, again, I'm not in their club, so I don't give a fuck. I just report the news. But I think it's a positive development if they're taking these steps. Hey, everybody fucks up. They know it. They're getting rid of the cops, or they got rid of the cops from what I'm told, and they're cleaning up all the mess left over from Aaron Davis. If that's the case, it might be a good start for them again. And hopefully they follow the tradition of what motorcycle clubs do as far as hang around periods, prospect periods, membership. And that applies to building charters or chapters, however you're doing it. It's not here, pay this so we get 10 chapters. No. Take your time, build those fucking chapters. And as that chapters build, put other people, hey, you got a guy over there with 6 guys? Well, you got to hang around for a year. Then you got to prospect for a year. During that prospect time, you got to get a clubhouse to establish yourself. You got to show us you can make the nationals, the regionals. Then, if everything's met, go on to membership as a full chapter. So that is kind of a good thing that I heard tonight. If it's happening, we'll see. I don't know. But I do know if it's the guy I'm being told that's taken over the National, I do know him as a street guy, and he will fucking wreck some shit. And he will put some boots in the ass to get shit going straight again. That I know. This guy don't go against his freaking word again. He was an ex-Dito, and that's some good freaking news right there if it is the case. But again, back to that patch burning stuff. Yeah. A lot of guys were pissed off about it, and I don't blame them because that's some hardcore shit right there, man. Not only did she almost burn the shit out of herself, but she just think if this was, and they might have guys in there, who knows? I don't fucking know. But firemen shit out, and the guys on the street know what I mean by that. It could have got real dangerous for her, and I guarantee right now that the feds have visited her ass, because you know how them fuckers are. They're always fucking busybodies. They never leave a motherfucker alone. So you can guarantee the feds have fucking visited her ass by now. So it's good. She said that she didn't, she regretted what she did. Okay, cool. But that's the day and age we lived in. As far as Jessie, she will be on Fridays doing a lot of other news stuff. She was actually the one who broke that interview, and I think she was damn good and professional in that interview. Again, we're a biker news site. We're going to bring you biker shit. We're down the middle. If you fuck up, don't blame us, man, if we're fucking reporting it. If it's in the news and we got to report it, that's your fucking problem, not ours. So don't be ass monkeys, and don't be ass monkeys going on the internet doing ass monkey shit, and you wouldn't have to hear from us anymore. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, see if they pull it together, man. Let's see. Let's hope so, man. That'd be a good thing, man. That'd be, good for them, good for everybody, and hopefully they turn that shit around, and hopefully other clubs that are out doing that bullshit will turn their asses around, because right now, with what's going on with this patch shit out in California, we got to get together, man. We can't be out there being a bunch of fucking ass monkey. We can't do that shit no more. You can't, because you got the weight of the fucking federal government coming down on most of everybody now. And everybody knows, shit, they got unlimited resources. They got unlimited everything. But, anyway... Thanks for the New Age of Biking and Brotherhood sales. They will be available for signed copies. Also today, the Iron Order Motorcycle Club, the year that changed the motorcycle scene, is now out on Kindle, and it's coming out on paperback. And right now, we also got it on audiobook, but you got to go through our link over on Insane Throttle for that one to get it there. So I appreciate everything. You guys get your butts involved. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. You guys all have a good day. And let me know if this fucking audio sounds better.